Have you ever come home from a wildlife shoot to realize that all of your photos just look slightly soft, even though your focus looked right? When you start using long telephoto lenses, even the slightest movement can result in a lost shot. In this video, I'm going to share a few quick, simple tips to help you stabilize yourself so you can get sharp images of the wildlife subjects you're photographing, specifically when we're hand holding our long telephoto lenses. Now, why are long lenses harder to keep steady? Basically, as you have more magnification in your lens, even the slightest movement is going to become very visible. You can see this as well with binoculars. If you use a really high magnification binoculars, even the slightest shake in your hands is going to be visible, and this becomes immediately apparent when you're looking down a long telephoto lens, hand holding. If you don't have proper technique, you're not steadying yourself, you have a lot of movement in what you're seeing in your viewfinder. Now, the first thing to discuss is proper hand placement on our cameras and lenses. So the right hand is holding the camera like this. Your left hand, your supporting hand, is going to want to hold onto the lens barrel. Now the idea is you want to have as much surface area of your hand on the lens as possible, because that's going to give you the most stable platform. Next, you're going to want to tuck your elbow into your body just slightly so that you kind of form a nice stable 90-degree angle here, because that allows you to have some good stability. You don't want your elbow out like this flapping around, because that's going to be an unstable platform and position. Even tucking in this arm here, bringing yourself in as close as possible like that, is going to create a much more sturdy system. Also, something that really helps with just slight vibrations and shake is to make sure you're pressing the eye cup up to your eye. I oftentimes, if I'm in position for a long period of time, I actually have an indent in my my eyebrow just above my eye, because you want to press firmly against your eye cup here, because that's going to dampen any vibrations that you have in your camera itself and any shaking that your right hand has on the camera. Another tip is if you have a tripod leg collar on your lens, it's best to actually not put your palm on this, because that makes a pretty wobbly situation here. The only reason I do this sometimes is if I'm going to be manual focusing, because it just gives me actually a more stable platform to turn the manual focus ring. But if you're going to be using autofocus, you're not going to be using the focus ring. Having more of your palm on your lens, having your tripod collar flipped up, will give you a much more stable platform and much more area to grip onto. The next, we're going to talk about having a stable body position. Now that we have our grip and our support on our camera figured out, now it's about how we're actually standing. Now, if we're standing, say if we're photographing birds in flight, you're going to want to have a slightly wider stance, a little bit wider than shoulder width, to give you a nice stable platform. And then again, just remember to tuck everything in, and then you can move, and this is actually a very stable position. Now also remember that standing is going to be your least supported position when you're hand holding your lens. Sitting or crouching is going to give you a more stable position than standing. You have more surface area to the ground, and you're able to support yourself really well. So you can put your elbow I tuck it kind of into my thigh, just slightly inside my knee. You're able to tuck your right elbow that's holding the camera into your body, and then this gives you a much stabler position. Now, an even more stable position is if you're sitting on the ground. As you're kneeling, your knees can start to hurt, you start to get a little wobbly, start to get fatigued. If you sit, especially if you sit kind of cross-legged or have your legs out, you're able to now put both of your arms on your legs like this, and then just look through the viewfinder. It doesn't create any fatigue because you're using your bones at this point instead of your muscles to support your camera, and it's just a very nice stable platform. Getting all the way down prone onto the ground is going to create the most stable platform. Okay, you're able to put everything right on the ground, have your elbows kind of flayed out a little bit. The wider you are, the better your stance is going to be. Again, you're using your bone structure to support the camera instead of your muscles to support the camera, and you're able to just sit here like this. Now, in this kind of situation, I actually bring my hand slightly in a little bit closer to the camera. Especially with this lens, I'm able to do that because it's nice and light. And you just can sit here like this. And then also, don't be afraid to use what's around you in your environment to help support yourself. If you're in a situation where there's lots of logs in the forest, well, you can use these logs to support your lens. You can sit here all day because the lens, you're not actually holding it. The log is doing all of the support for you. You can then get down low, get into position, and it becomes very stable. What if you're in an instance where you don't have anything, some big logs or anything like that. You can easily use your backpack if you have one. Use that as a sort of tripod. Set your lens up on top. You can put your lens, your hand, your supporting hand, now on top of your lens and hold it as such. You can also use trees and such. You have these sticks that are hanging out here like this. Don't be afraid to use what's around you to be able to support your camera. You can kind of press things up against the tree and use that to support yourself, have a nice wide stance, and you can get some really stable shots using things that are around you without having to carry a tripod around with you. Another thing to be aware of is you want to be able to control and have some nice calm movements with your camera itself. You don't want to end up being, jabbing your shutter button when you're taking the photo, because that's going to create a lot of vibrations in your camera. The thing you want to remember is you just want to kind of press the shutter button. Another thing to think about is taking bursts of photos. Instead of just a single photo, take a 3-photo burst or a 5-photo burst, because chances are the sequential shooting that you do, the second, third, fourth photo is probably going to have a sharper image because you're not actually pressing the shutter button at that point. The camera is just firing as your finger is on the shutter button and not moving. So there's less movement in that burst compared to the first photo in the sequence. Sometimes it's not the camera settings that we're using that cause the softness in the images. It's actually how we're physically taking the photo with our hands. And then the last thing you can do if you're noticing softness in your images is to increase your shutter speed. If you increase your shutter speed, that's going to counteract a lot of movement that happens in your camera and any instability that you have. Now, the benefit of using the OM System gear with this combination here, you have a very stabilized system with the lens and the camera offering a lot of stabilization. So you're able to get some really nice slow shutter speeds, hand holding with this setup, and it works really well. Obviously, it's going to depend on what camera system you're using, how much stabilization your camera and lens has, and you're going to have to practice and kind of adjust based on how low your minimum shutter speed is for the system that you're using. So remember, if you're using a long lens for wildlife photography, think about your hand placement on your camera and lens, have a nice stable platform. Then think about your body position, make sure you're having a nice stable platform there, have a nice wide stance if you're standing. And remember, as you get lower to the ground, you increase your stability in your setup. And then also remember to press your shutter button instead of jabbing at it. Taking bursts allows you to have a nice smooth sequence. And then also, if you're still having softness in your images, increase your shutter speed slightly to help counteract any movement that there might be. Using a long lens for wildlife photography is often one of the funnest things about it, but you need to make sure you have the proper skills and techniques to be able to use these tools properly in the field to get the results that you're looking for. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing. And also, I have my longer vlog style videos out on my YouTube channel. Be sure to check those out as well. And if you're struggling with your wildlife photography journey, overwhelmed with all the different things to learn, I do offer online mentorship courses as well on my website. I have information down below in the description. Otherwise, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again for the next week's Tips Tuesday.